Comedy Mushroom Cult Podcast. Holy shit. Welcome to this very special edition of the Comedy and Mushroom Cult Podcast. I am your host, Ray Roberts. Today we will be joined by nobody. We'll be joined by me. And it's as the band. It's gonna be a weird podcast today, guys. Okay. I've been sick. That's why you don't know when I record these things, and nobody really knows when they're going to come out, including me, because half the time the technology takes fucking forever to go. It's also 4:00 in the fucking morning, 4:34, if we're being exact on the time here. Because I all week I was supposed to be at work from 6 to 2, but yesterday I woke up and just my fucking throat was killing me. So that's why I got like a little bit of nonsense in my voice here. We're pushing through. I called off work yesterday. I called off work today as well. Ooh, that was I don't know if you heard that. But it's just sometimes you're sick and you look at, you forget how it feels to be sick, if that makes sense. Like every time I get sick, it's like the first fucking time I've ever gotten sick. I think I have like selective amnesia when it comes to like bodily pain and injury and sickness and whatnot, sickness and health, because I think your body naturally does that for you a little bit, right? Because it doesn't want to remember the bad times. It just wants to remember, like it wants to just survive and spread seed and advance the species. It doesn't want to remember that like this could all fall apart just because you get the sniffles because of some like little precaryote or some shit. I don't even know if that's the right thing. It's 4 in the morning. This is gonna happen. And I'm not having coffee yet because that's what fucked me yesterday. Is I woke up and was gonna force my way to go into work because everybody needs money. Who doesn't need money? I'm also still like in my like fucking trial period at this job, so being sick is not helpful. I started management training. I'm not like a fan of this job. Nobody likes working. Work is fucking stupid. We've tricked ourselves into this like being useful. Like they should have some sort of like, hey, sign up for like what you want to do and like what days you want to work, and we'll send you somewhere. Like everybody, like every place should run pretty similarly, where you can be, and I mean most places are run pretty similar. That's kind of like the weird thing that we've been tricked into lately, of thinking that like you can start your own business. Not lately, just ever. Like America ever. Like you could start your own business, you can do whatever you want. It's the land of opportunity. Come up with a great idea, and then you can fucking go and change the world, become a billionaire. But like if you look at like it's like 5 big companies that own everything, and if you don't do it their way, you can't be successful. Like the food service place that I work at gets all of their fucking stuff from Gordon's Foods. Every restaurant gets stuff from Gordon's Foods. Like, you're basically just seeing who can put together ingredients from Gordon's Foods the best. So everybody just works for Gordon Foods, who's owned by, like, probably, like, the fucking Kellogg company or some bullshit. So we're all just working for Kellogg, who's owned by fucking Larry Ellison or fucking one of the fucking George Soros. It's very fun that like and again we're constantly tap dancing on that fun line of pointing out some of the evil people in the world that just so happen to be part of the 12 tribes. And and I need people to understand that we love all 12 of them, even the missing 13th tribe. I love the Black Israelites. They don't like me. I'm the great white Satan to them, but I find them very interesting. My neighbor in Waukesha was one. We smoked weed at the same time. I know for sure that he thought I was the white Satan, but like we got along. It's like that black guy who would like win people over from the Klan by being their friends. That's me for white people when it comes to Black Israelites. I just show up to Black Israelite meetings and I'm like, guys, I'm actually kind of chill. There's more of us. Not that many more, but we're out there. You can be friends with us. Like I have a drug dealer again because I'm one of the good white people. Like that's what like that rips, you know? But like George, like it's just real funny that like I mean like the left, capital L left, Democrats, capital D Democrats, spent so long trying to be like, oh, these conspiracy theories, them saying that George Soros runs the fucking media, and then like, yeah, like the Republicans were saying George Soros runs everything and blah blah blah, like the Jews run the media, and then just like use Miriam Adelson and Larry Ellison and the State of Israel, like all of these like Jewish cohorts. Zionists. Let's just call them Zionists. Who cares if they're Jewish? Using these Zionists, like, because they're separate. They're two separate things. I think we fixed the anti-Semitism loophole on this. Because I mean, there's got. I hope the Jews spread. I wish there were 6 million more of them that didn't get eradicated by the Germans back about 80 years or so. You know, I wish that they weren't just constantly fucked with through history. But what we can't do is have like a bunch of weird Zionists living up to like all these weird stereotypes and all of these weird like fucking conspiracy theories that have been around for decades underneath like a president who's just like fuck it. Like all of his like little stupid fans are like big like Soros runs the fucking government. Alex Jones. Which we started a point on Alex Jones last week and never really finished it. The point was that like he's a terrible person, but like unfortunately he was right about like a lot of things. And the one that he got wrong was just like the Sandy Hook. Fuck, man. That's been stuck in my head for an entire week. See, that's what you listen to this podcast for, is me figuring out my stupid brain. Guys, it's 4:41 in the morning. I'm sick. But like my sleep schedule is all fucking wonky because of it. And like, oh yeah, that's the point. Like every job, you should just be like, I'm a food worker. And then you go to a place, like you're like, hey, it's Tuesday. I need some money. Let me see what's available. And they're like, go to this place. It's all the same fucking shit. It's all slop bowls at this point. Like you go, you do 20 to 30 minutes of like, okay, this is how we put together slop bowls at this place. Go ahead and work for 4 to 5 hours, 6 hours, however long you need to work. We got another crew coming in 4 hours. And we need to train them. And then it'll be good. And then you can work here for a few weeks and then take a few weeks off. Like that's what like the gig economy should be. Especially now that AI is going to take over everything. They should just have like at will work. Like I went to like an interview thing yesterday. Yes, I called off work and then went to an interview for another job. Fuck off. All right. You still have to make money. I don't like this job. I want to find another one just because I can be sick and spend an hour talking to some lady who doesn't want to talk to me, even though they're looking like they told me to show up. I sent them my resume and they're like, oh, we're actually doing this thing today. You want to come to it? And I couldn't have been like, well, actually, I called off from my other job. So no, it wouldn't be responsible. But like also showing up at noon for like an interview kind of looks weird. You know what I mean? Like it's a very like, ooh, that would have been very maddening. It's a very weird thing. But like you have to like talking for an hour is completely different than like having to like physically stand and like do customer service shit and deal with like other employees at work, especially like, and nothing against this. I think it's fun and I like it, and it makes my day more interesting, but like when you don't speak the language of like half the people there and they only speak your language kind of, it's like, man, it's a lot of mental work. And you just don't, when you have the sniffles and like it's hard to breathe and it's hard to talk, you don't want to deal with that. I'm only doing this now because this is my only way out from ever having a job. Is if for some reason you guys decide to start giving me money, or if people start listening to this, you know? So that's, I mean, now that we've explained the vibe for 10 minutes and talked about Jewish conspiracy theories, and speaking of Jewish, like the weather here. All right. No, the Jews don't control the weather. All right. Mehdi Amadi, a guy that I've called out on here before, but not used his name, has a very fun joke about how the Jews don't control. He's Iranian, and I'm not gonna. He's got like a joke about how the Jews obviously don't control the weather, and it's very funny. And he's Iranian, and so like sometimes, and it's one of those reasons why you have to give people some leash. Now, the reason I had a problem with him was completely personal, and he apologized, and we're fine now. That's how I kind of treat everything. Like, there's a comic in town who ended up having to go to rehab after he tried to help. He tried to make me relapse because he said that like I had never drank with him. That's why I didn't do a good job drinking last time. Real cool guy. And then he ended up going to rehab and getting a divorce, and like after being married for like a week and a half, and it's still fuck him. And I've said it in public, and it's like fuck him until he apologizes. Then when he apologizes, we're cool. You know, all you have to do is admit fault. It's the same thing with all these weird Trump MAGA people. All you have to do is be like, hey, we really fucked up, and now we're here to help the cause. Sick, brother, come on in. You know. We'll deal with your weird ability to just hate people because of their race at some other point, because right now we need to stop the fucking government from trampling on all of our rights. The rights that you don't want everybody to have, but are now on our team because they're trying to take yours, you know? We need you now. That's what we can ignore some of the thing. But whatever. So he's got like a joke about how the Jews don't run the weather. But fuck if they did. They have a problem. I do think somebody runs the weather. I'm not completely sure that the Jews don't run the weather anymore. No, I'm kidding. It's just like since I've been to Chicago, we've had ice here, and then like the storms have been fucking bananas. And then yesterday, or 2 days ago, there was a burning cross in Grant Park. And then yesterday, just like an insane storm came through town. Like it was like a fucking monsoon out there. And I've said it's been a monsoon a few times this spring. Like when I was working, I work right across the street from Willis Tower, this building right here, also known as the Sears Tower. I work across the street from it currently. I called off work from across the street from it. But like you couldn't see across Franklin. Like a month ago, let's call it 2-3 weeks ago. Like it was, I know when it like snows real crazy, they call it a whiteout, but it was like when it's like real foggy and you can't see very far. Like it was one of those, like a gray out, I don't know. Or like the movie The Fog, that nobody really talks about. One of the coolest endings of any movie I've ever seen in my entire life. Just an absolute crazy horror ending. I thought I saw that on somewhere. Maybe I'll watch that today. Since I've been camped out on my fucking couch for a day. I mean, that's the worst part about being sick, is it just fucks your sleep schedule. And especially when it's like a fucking crazy thunderstorm and it's 90 degrees out. So you have to like it's crazy humid. So and I'm sick. So like I turn on the air conditioning, I black out the curtains. So like right now it could be fucking 5 in the afternoon instead of almost 5 in the morning. And I wouldn't know. Like, I woke up, I went to bed at like 7 last night. Something stupid. And I mean, woke up at 4 a.m., got ready for work, went back to bed at like 5. So that's probably what I'll do after this. While this is fucking all the working itself out, since it's like a 9-hour process now. Not really that long, but like this is the work I'm gonna do today. And then fucking like woke up at like 9 or something, and then went back to bed at like 7 or 8, and just woke up wide awake at like 1:30. I did fall asleep on the couch with the air conditioner on full blast. Like I can hear my neighbor's air conditioner from next door. Real cool. Yeah, that's you guys can't hear it, but I can hear it. Which I think my apartment building's falling apart. Again, welcome to the ADHD podcast, the Scattered podcast. Because like my floors have gotten all weird and warpy lately, and they came in and said that like there's a leak in one of the pipes in my thing. And like before, like I could walk around and like the floor was real solid. That was one of the cool things about this apartment. Yes, it's super expensive. Yes, it's bleeding me dry. It's getting in the way of all of my hopes and dreams and making me have to work all the goddamn time. When I did a very, very good job of setting myself up to not have to work a full-time job anymore. But you know, you make life decisions where you move to the big city, and the person that you're with says that they're willing to carry the lion's share of the bills, and then they start to resent you when you're not famous instantly. You know, one of those, like you move to a brand new place and like aren't instantly successful, and then they have a real big problem with that, and then decide to resent you because you're not paying for everything when they said that they could pay for, you know, stuff like that. So then you start to become more independent and realize you don't need that person for emotional support because they've never done that. And their contributions are purely monetary, and you don't want to keep people around for just their money. So you let them know that certain behaviors won't stand anymore just because they're a bank. And then they continue them, and then you break up with them, and then you're stuck with all of these crazy bills that this other person kind of signed you up for. And I mean, again, that's life. Those are decisions that you make. But one of the good things about this stupid expensive apartment is you couldn't hear anything. It was quiet. Like the floors were solid. But like you walk on different parts of and I feel bad walking for my downstairs neighbor now. And it wasn't like that 6 months ago. So I think my apartment building's falling apart. But boy, do I need to make sure that my rent's on time, or they get really, really mad. I don't know. God, this is a weird episode. This one's for the sickos. this one is for the people who are in. Here's one of the things that we didn't get to last week, and maybe that's what I'll go do. Since I'm like wide awake and it's 5 a.m. and I'm not going to work, maybe I'll go hang out at the beach. Oh, it's raining. That's the problem. There's people, especially on like, God, what do we call that beach that's right over there? That's right off of downtown. Like the main beach drag, not Montrose, which is right behind me. I don't know if there's morning beach people at Montrose. I'm sure there are. There's a dog park over there. I'm sure people go to the dog park. That makes sense, taking your dog to the dog park in the morning. But there's people at like, I'll be on my way into work at fucking 6 a.m, and there'll be people out at the beach like playing volleyball and like laying out and like meeting people and jogging and shit, and like go for a run, whatever, like live your life. But like, what time are you waking up to do all that shit? Are you fucking Mark Wahlberg, like waking up at fucking 3:30 I mean, I'm not. Yeah, that's why I wake up at 4 a.m, is so I can podcast while the rest of the world is sleeping. But like that's kind of the level of rich I want to become, is where I can become like a morning beach person. Because if I was a morning beach person, that would ruin the rest of my day. Like if I went to the beach right now and was just like kicking it outside, and then like watching the sunrise is very cool. Like that's got to be very good for your mentals and your chickens. More your mentals more than your chickens. Like, you watch it, and then it's nice, and then you just like, you can go home, maybe have a little breakfast, and then you go back, you take a nap. I mean, you're like a housewife or like a house husband or something. Like, that's what I really need. I just need some like old lady who likes to hang out with people and be like, and just like go, like, I need like an old rich gay guy who's like into, maybe not even like, just an old rich dude who's like into talking to people about weird shit. I wonder what Les Wexner's up to. He needs somebody to hang out with now that his boy Jeffrey's dead. I'll move back to Columbus to be friends with some reclusive billionaire figure that is known for buying and selling young women. I mean, who knows if it's just young women? Yes, I know that fucking vaping isn't helping, but it also isn't hurting. Okay, but yeah, the weather's like, it's raining again currently. Like, like trees got blown over and fucking like unrooted, and like the last time I saw that was because of some, like, God, what was it called? Like a wind silo. I know that when I was living in Wisconsin, we had the derecho, right? Derecho that like hit Iowa or whatever. That was a big boom for generator sales. That was for sure. I really should have stuck it out with that job. God, I would have been rich right now if I would have just stuck with dealer acquisitions of my fucking at fucking the generator company that I worked for. God, I was the service rep for Florida. I'd probably be hearing the weirdest shit about Trump right now. Boy, did I hear some weird shit in 2020, in 2021. I worked for that job for like almost 2 years. It was crazy. Just the insane conspiracy theories people had. And it's like, hey man, you guys are making a stupid amount of money because people want home generators and they need to be at home. And you're an electrician and you need to fix shit like that. And yet you're like mad that the government is making it so you have more business? The fuck are you talking about? Oh, I have to wear a mask. And okay, cool. You're calling me because you can't keep up with the business that you have. And you need to like have more things to offer so you can make more money at the houses you're at, so you can make whatever. But any hoozles. But yeah, being a morning beach person, man, like, what a psycho move. I wish I could like have that. The other thing that I've been noticing, because I've been like walking around, I've been out in public more. It's been kind of nice. I like working down in the loop because like you have to like go, you get to be like part of like the movers and shakers of the city. Like, especially if you're taking the bus or the train in, you feel like, what's that? Part of the New York groove. Do 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 do. Like, you feel like you should have some sort of like ticker tape music playing behind you, like you're in the 80s, or you're like some like, she's a girl taking on the city. She can do it. She's independent. And like, that's just how you feel walking down fucking like LaSalle on your way to work, getting off at the Quincy stop on the purple or the brown line. The most beautiful train stop in all of the city is the Quincy stop. I'm not the first person to say that. I'm not going to be the last person to say that. It's got like this delightful charm. And it doesn't even smell like piss or anything. Somehow it's right in like one of whatever. So like, you just like feel part of it, but like you see so many more people. And that's kind of the cool thing about Chicago or like any big city really, is your anonymity is like baked in. There's so many people that like nobody's really paying attention to you specifically, but like sometimes like you just see that like a couple of people are like fighting in public and it's fun. God, do I love a public breakup or like a public fight. Oh, injected in, like, that was something that I used to do with my ex when we first started dating, is like we would go to Barnes and Noble and hang out and talk about books and get coffee, and then like we would sit in the little cafe and just like overhear people, like the amount of like public breakups we saw when we first started dating. Like at the Barnes and Noble, there was one at like in the Giant Eagle parking lot, I remember, where they broke up in the parking lot, went and did their shopping together, and then broke up again afterwards. It was a whole journey that we were on with these people. And now you'll just see it. They'll just be like people screaming in their car, and then you'll look at them and they'll just be like, "What?" And it's like, "Hey man, you were screaming." Like I understand that you're in your car and you think that nobody can see you, but everybody can see you. You can't scream and then just have nobody pay attention to you. You can't be at a public park bench just absolutely bawling your eyes out as a woman, and then like just having a dude sitting in that like defeated dude sit just staring off into nowhere. Not that I've ever done that. When you're just like, no matter what, we're not giving in to this. Like you just have that defeated stare off into the abyss where you're like letting your decisions sink in, but you just have this mad lady next to you, and you're at a park and you're like, all right, so now everybody can see this sobbing woman that I just made cry because I didn't want to do whatever dumb nonsense, or we're in a big fight about, I don't know, the sun is a little bit brighter than she expected, or like the wind is coming from the west and I'm supposed to do something about it. And like you're just like, okay, now they think I like fucking murdered somebody in her family when we're just having an argument, or like we just like broke up or something, like it's not the end of the world, but like, yeah, it feels like the end of the world. And so like you just like get to see these people, because like everybody's had those moments in life, and you're like, oh man, now I get to enjoy it from the other side. Like having an argument at a restaurant, like when you can just tell that two people are stewing and they have like that like little whisper voice where they're like leaning in, and it's like, then you just see them lean back and just being uncomfortable. Like that's fun because you've been part of that. Everybody's like had that thing where like you show up to like a fucking like an Easter dinner, and you show up and all your entire family's there, and you walk in and like you just see someone walk in and just like roll their eyes, and you're like, ooh, something's going on, and you can like feel the energy, and you just see it, and you're like, ooh, here it is, because you've been that person. Or you're like hosting something and like it's a little stressful because you're like, oh, you forgot to get the ice. God, you always forget something off of the shopping list. And like you're just like bickering and fighting the whole time, and then people show up and you're like, hey, fuck it, and then and just everybody knows. And then now you get to see that from the outside. God, I love that. Like just I like to give them a little thumbs up. Like, hey man, and not just like not man as in like, hey brother, hold it out. Don't let these bitches get you down. No, not one of those. Like a hey man, like a royal we kind of thing. Like, hey, you guys are going to be great. Everything's going to be fine. Yeah, everybody sees you fighting in front of the harbor right now. Don't worry about it. Yeah, we're trying to have a peaceful beach day, and you guys are fucking both crying on a park bench. Like, go home and do this. Yes, it's easier to talk when you're outside and you're moving and all that shit, but like, that was one of the biggest things that like going for a walk and having a conversation is like one of the biggest things that you can do. But to sit down on a park bench, like, keep it moving. That's why you do it. You keep moving. Nobody can see you. You stick and move. You don't have the same things going on. You don't plan up at a park bench for fucking 45 minutes and just steal that property. And then, like, at that point, you kind of just, like, own the area. Like, you can't, like, nobody can go set up, like, their little family picnic near you, because who knows what you're gonna hear? What kind of, like, insane secrets are gonna come out? Or, like, the, like, lack of sexual performance. Like, I earnestly think that that's why, like, people murder their wives instead of getting divorces. It's like, they can't help that, like, somebody's out there with all those secrets about them. Like, I was with somebody for almost a decade. Just the amount of, like, terrible things that they've seen me do. And, like, the amount of, like, embarrassing shit. And the same thing on the other way. Like, the amount of things that I know about this person that, like, you just, like, nobody wants another person walking around with that, like, inside of them. Like that's vulnerable. Like, that's why you delete your search history. Like, a human being that you spend a decade with is like a human search history. They saw you do like the most ridiculous shit, and half of it's naked. So it's like you can't just have that walking around. So it almost makes sense why people murder people. But then it's just like, be a little embarrassed, you know? Or just like reconnect, be friends with your exes. Not that I would ever do anything like that. That's just always a bad idea that never works out, you know? Not that like one of them sent me a fucking article. It was like a meme. I didn't read the article. Nobody reads articles. I mean, I read articles, but like you understand what I mean. I like to read books. I read magazines. I'll look into stuff for a while. I'll look into an article about something weird. But like she sent, or this person that I know that used to be intimate with sent me a fucking thing that was like, don't be like, people with psychopathic traits remain friends with their exes. And I just wanted to be like, hey, I need you to understand that we're not friends. Which is like a joke because like, I don't know, I don't dislike this person. But it's like, yeah, we conversed about something. Like, it's not, and like maybe like we'll hang out again. It's not, we're not like gonna be best friends. I'm not checking in with you every day. I'm not trying to date you again. But like, I don't know. Like, yeah, sometimes you reach out. And like, even she's like, the only reason why we're talking is for research purposes. And it's like, all right, dude, however you want to like convince yourself of this, like, cool. We hung out for a while. We know weird things about each other. I think at this point it's safe to know that we're not going to put shit out on the internet or do weird things. And yeah, I put weird shit out on the internet about people. Fuck off. All right? I exaggerate. We did this last week. I exaggerate a little bit. All right? Nothing anybody do. I mean, not anybody, but nothing most people do is actually that heinous or that bad. And I don't really care that much. That's your prerogative. That's something that you do. But for her saying that we do this for research purposes only is one of my favorite. Like, yes, in this house we believe in science, and we need to experiment with this. How stupid. I don't think being friends with your exes is, because I mean, like, I don't know. It kind of seems, I saw a thing online. I'm not like entrenched with the lesbian or gay community. I have a few gay friends. I have black friends too, but like, yeah. But I'm not like entrenched in that culture. But like there was like a meme that was like, or like somebody was on a podcast or something that was like, lesbians don't have exes. It's just like you date them and then like you just kind of like move around the thing, you know? Like it's like comics don't have exes, especially if you date inside the comedy scene. Like, yeah, you just like everything's a restaurant. Everything that's not like straight white marriage is like working at a restaurant. Like, yeah, you fuck a little bit, you hang out, you have a good time, then you hate each other, you talk a bunch of shit, but then you have to like see each other all the time again, and you have to like reach that weird equilibrium. Like, it is what it is. You have to see this person all the time. It's literally like having a fight with like a live-in girlfriend where you're just like a giant blow up and then you don't talk for like a day or two and then you're just like, well, like we're together, so like we might as well fucking talk and try to work this out and like come to some, and then like love takes over or whatnot. Fuck, man. This, I know I say this every time, but we're doing a short episode. We're just over a half hour, and we're gonna do one more thing. The World Cup starts today. Hopefully, this comes out today. This is the June 11th, and the World Cup's gonna come out today. Their start today, and the U.S. is already fucking it up. The U.S. is the spot that is fucking it up. Because we're hosting it. I mean, it's the Americas. It's in South America. It's in Mexico, Canada, and the United States. But like apparently every city in the United States, the hotels are like 85% less staffed or like less filled than they thought. People aren't coming. Like, they have so many tickets left over because it's too expensive, and nobody's going to games. Nobody's coming in from out of the country. I watched a podcast yesterday, a political podcast talking about how like other World Cup teams aren't staying in the United States. So, like, their support staff isn't staying in the United States. So, they're not giving money to the United States. So, like, all of the benefits that come from hosting the World Cup, because we fund ICE and strip, there's like a Somali referee who's like one of the best in the world that they stripped his visa to come and do matches here, so he can't come. They barely gave the Iranian team their visas to come play because they're in the World Cup, and the Iranian team, because of that, is staying in Mexico, and like flying in for their games and then flying back after because they don't want to be in the United States. I wonder why. So like it's like our entire country is a sham to the outside world. And I don't know if anybody outside of this country listens to this, but I want you to know, there are great places where you can come hang out. New York, Chicago, LA is apparently kind of a dump. I mean, last time I was there, it smelled like homeless person and pee everywhere. But, like, I don't know. It's beautiful. The sun's out there. It's Los Angeles. Go to the fucking Comedy Store. Go see the Hollywood sign. You know, old, like, shit that used to be important in America. Go, like, cool things that we used to do. Go see that. Come to Chicago. We've got insane weather and cool beaches. You can come see my show on July 2nd, the Comedy and Mushroom Cult live show at Burton Place. You can do shit like that. You can visit the Sears Tower. But just know that everybody in America is not these fucking clowns. I mean, it's kind of turning in that way because they're the ones with all the guns and in charge of everything and literally own everything. And as much as we want to be like, oh, you know, we can vote our way out of this. We can't, because they own the elections as well. But we also can't fight our way out of it because I watched a clip on Pod Save America. I don't watch Pod Save America because, like, these fucking losers worked for Obama or whatever the fuck. All right, congratulations. Now you run a podcast where you can be snarky about the Trump campaign or the Trump administration when you guys were doing a lot of the same stuff, and like helping it happen. But like you were with the cool guy who played basketball, who I think like at least tried or started to try, and then he got in and he's like, oh, there's nothing, but whatever. We're only giving him the benefit of the doubt because of Chicago, and he's the only black president, so it's like, hey, let's get, like, he's got to do some evil white people shit, you know? Fucking DEI president. Whatever. I forget the point. Oh, but it was because more Epstein file shit came out because Trump was apparently like biting and flicking nipples of some underage woman, and it showed up in the Epstein files, and that's why like the DOJ got rid of the search function on the Epstein list file, like the Epstein website, is because that like article kept popping up real quick, so they squashed it. And that was like and I was just like watching the thing, and Pod Save America is like, we're dedicated to doing this non-violently every day, and it's like, okay, great. That's because, and nothing's gonna change, you know. If anything, the fucking January 6th thing proved that the violence does win. Because, I mean, look at what happened. But whatever. America's cool. The United States is great. We just gotta get rid of all these fucking billionaires and this orange fuck and the racists and fund schools and roads and shit like that. You know, we're not like, we're the city on a hill. But no. Great. We're going to be done here in a second. At Ray Roberts Comedy on everything. Ray Roberts Comedy on Instagram, Venmo, Cash App. You can join the Patreon. Come to the live show. I dropped the lineup last week. We talked about it. That's going to be fun. And if you're breaking up, do it in private. Unless you want people to watch. Then do whatever you want, you freaky fucks. Love you. Bye.